The son I never knew, a Reddit confession. I've been holding this in for a while now, and I just need to get it off my chest. I'm a 32-year-old man, and I recently found out that I have a 6-year-old son in Mexico. This all started when I took a trip to Mexico with some buddies about 6 years ago. We had been planning this trip for months, and I was really looking forward to blowing off some steam and having a good time. I never could have imagined the impact that trip would have on my life. While we were there, we spent our days soaking up the sun and our nights partying at the local bars and clubs. I wasn't exactly on the prowl for a hookup or anything, but when I met Valeria, it just happened. She was a beautiful woman, a local, and we instantly hit it off. We spent a few nights together, and I thought it was just a fling. Our trip came to an end and we said goodbye, and that was it. Fast forward 6 years, and out of the blue, I receive a message on Facebook from Valeria. She told me she had been trying to track me down for years, and she finally found me through social media. My heart raced as I read her message, revealing that she had given birth to a boy and that I was the father. I couldn't believe it. A million thoughts raced through my head. How could this be true? Was she lying? Did she just want money from me? We exchanged messages for a few days, and she sent me pictures of our son, whom she had named Miguel. As soon as I saw his face, I knew he was mine. The resemblance was uncanny. Valeria told me that she had been raising him on her own and that they were struggling to make ends meet. She said she wanted me to be a part of his life, but she also needed financial support. I was overwhelmed with emotions. I felt anger, sadness, guilt, and happiness all at once. I wanted to meet my son, to be a part of his life, and to help Valeria however I could. I started sending her money every month to help with their expenses, and I made plans to visit them in Mexico as soon as possible. But things quickly took a dark turn. As the months went by, Valeria's messages became increasingly demanding. She would say things like, if you really loved your son, you would send more money, or if you don't send more money, you'll never see him. It became clear that her primary focus was not on our son's well-being, but on manipulating me for her own gain. She didn't want me to be a part of his life. She just wanted to use me for financial support. I started to push back, telling her that I wanted to be a part of Miguel's life and that I wasn't just a human ATM. That's when she dropped the bombshell. If I didn't continue to send her money, she would never let me meet my son. She would keep him away from me and make sure he never knew who I was. I was devastated. I felt trapped, like there was no way out of this situation. I wanted to be a father to my son, to watch him grow and be there for him, but I couldn't do that if Valeria was standing in the way. I felt like I was being held hostage by her threats, and I didn't know what to do. That's when I decided to seek legal advice. I spoke to a lawyer who specialized in international family law, and he told me that my options were limited. He explained that pursuing a custody battle across international borders would be extremely difficult, time-consuming, and expensive. Even if I were to win, there was no guarantee that Valeria would comply with the court's decision. The lawyer advised me to continue trying to work things out with Valeria, but to also document everything in case I needed to build a case against her. As much as I hated the idea of giving in to her demands, I didn't want to lose any chance of being a part of my son's life. I continued to send Valeria money, but I also tried to negotiate with her. I pleaded with her to let me visit Miguel, to let him know who I was, and to allow us to build a relationship. But Valeria remained stubborn and cruel, using my love for my son as a weapon against me. I couldn't bear the thought of my son growing up without ever knowing who I was. I imagined him asking Valeria about his father, and her feeding him lies to turn him against me. It tormented me, and I couldn't sleep at night, wondering what he was doing, what kind of life he had, and if he ever thought about me. My friends and family tried to comfort me, telling me that there had to be a way to fix this situation. But deep down, I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. I felt defeated, like I had lost before I even had a chance to fight. The weight of the situation was suffocating, and I didn't know how to cope. As the months turned into years, my life became consumed by this dark cloud hanging over me. My relationships with friends and family started to suffer as I became more and more withdrawn. I couldn't focus at work, and my performance began to decline. I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare with no end in sight. I still send money to Valeria, and I continue to beg her to let me be a part of Miguel's life. Every now and then, she'll send me a picture of him, and it breaks my heart to see how much he's grown. He looks so much like me, and I can't help but wonder if he has any idea that I exist. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this situation, or if it's even possible to fix it. I feel like I'm being held captive by Valeria's greed and cruelty, and I can't see a way out. I just want to be a father to my son, to love him and protect him and give him the life he deserves. But as long as Valeria stands in my way, I'm powerless to do anything. So here I am, pouring my heart out to strangers on the internet, hoping that someone out there can offer me some advice or words of comfort. Maybe someone has been in a similar situation and can share their story. Or maybe someone can just tell me that it's going to be okay, that there's hope for me and my son. But for now, I'm just a broken man, haunted by the thought of the son I may never get to meet, and tormented by the cruelty of the woman who stands between us. Here are a few of the responses. 1. Hey there, I'm so sorry to hear about the situation you're in. It's truly heartbreaking, and no one should have to go through something like this. I can't imagine how difficult it must be for you, but I just want you to know that you're not alone. There are people out here who care and want to help you. Keep trying to communicate with Valeria and document everything, as your lawyer advised. And in the meantime, try to focus on your own well-being too. You deserve happiness and peace, even in the face of this struggle. Stay strong, and I hope that someday you'll be able to hold your son in your arms. 2. I can't say I've been in the exact same situation, but I've dealt with a custody battle and it's incredibly difficult. My heart goes out to you. One thing I can suggest is to try and find a support group, either online or in person, for people dealing with similar situations. It can be really helpful to connect with others who understand what you're going through. Also, don't be afraid to lean on your friends and family. They want to help, even if they don't know exactly what to say or do. You're not alone in this, and I truly hope things work out for you and your son. 3. I am so sorry you're going through this. The situation you're in is incredibly tough, but please don't lose hope. Keep fighting for your son and for your right to be a part of his life. You might consider seeking out a therapist or counselor to help you cope with the emotional turmoil you're experiencing. It's important to take care of yourself too during this time. Remember, you are strong and resilient, and there's a whole community here that's got your back. Wishing you all the best in your journey to reunite with your son. What do you think? What would you do in a situation like this? Let us know in the comments below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.